Hello, hello. Welcome to the Kathleen Sessions. My name is Kathleen Slattery-Moschkau, and this is the show where we talk about stepping up and into our finest hour. And today I want to talk about vision. Are you a visionary person? I'm going to give you a moment to think about that and answer it in your head. Are you a visionary person? I think that most of us think that there are visionaries out there, but they are an elite group, an exclusive group, and that it just comes naturally to them, and that is them, but that word doesn't necessarily apply to us. And although I would agree that yes, there are some people out there who seem to be natural visionaries, and yes, maybe they were born that way, maybe it's DNA, genetics, or maybe it's environment, the way that they were taught to look at the world, the way that they were taught to think about the world. Maybe that contributes as well, and those people are out there. But I would also argue that every single one of us is capable of vision, is capable of being visionary. And I would also argue that the world needs you to be visionary right now. It needs me to be visionary. It needs all of us. The world has a lot of issues that could use fresh eyes, new eyes, a fresh perspective, big picture thinking. Not only does the world need that, your country needs that, your community needs it, your family needs it, you probably need it. So what I'd like to talk about today is three things, three very practical things that can help us step up and into this quality. And I'm gonna just rattle them off, and then I'll come back and revisit each thing. Wait, I'm gonna pause actually a second. I'm gonna say one more thing. Why should we leave vision to other people? Why should we leave that to someone else? Right? We should step up to that and own it for ourselves. So, okay, three things. Number one, tell yourself that you are visionary. Tell yourself that you have vision, that you have the capability of it. And the reason I think that's important is because, like I said, I think the old way of looking at it was there was us and them, those visionaries, and then us who just sort of like follow along, right? So telling yourself you're visionary changes the paradigm. It gives you a different way to frame things, a different way to view things. It gives you something to lean forward and into. So that's number one. I might circle back and talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Number two, another very practical way we can cultivate this in ourselves is to have a daily, consistent meditation practice or mindfulness practice. And I'm always going to argue for a daily meditation practice, morning and night, if you can. Or you can always join me. I lead guided meditation via live stream at theKathleenSessions.com at 12 p.m. Central. You can always join me there. But there are many different ways you can cultivate your own meditation practice. But maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe just having something smaller to start with, something that's a little bit more just general mindfulness based, or it can even be as simple as just pausing each day for one cleansing, present, powerful breath. So let's do that now. I know we do this a lot on this show, but I think it helps me as I'm recording this, right? It helps me come back to being present, and I think it's powerful. So let's do that right now. So wherever you are, press into your feet or your seat. Straighten out your spine and your neck. Drop your chin just a little bit. If you're not driving, close your eyes. And let's take one slow, very deep breath in and out. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And then open your eyes. I hope you noticed that shift. I hope you notice a little more space around you. So, how this relates to the visionary component, how taking a meditation or doing a meditation practice or a mindfulness practice every day can help, is that we get distance from our thoughts. We get distance from labels and old ideas about how things had to be or were done. We get enough distance, enough breathing space that might open up some space so that when we sit down to think about these things, we have more room to have a beginner's mind to approach it with big picture, fresh thinking. So one thing I did want to say before we move on to the third thing is that when you're meditating or doing a mindfulness practice, please don't use that time to think. So we're talking about being a visionary. Don't use that time to think about how to solve things. I hear this a lot from people. Oh, I'm having this issue at work or with a loved one, so I'm going to meditate on that. And what I would just suggest is that the meditation practice, the mindfulness practice, the one cleansing breath, that alone will be so powerful, because what you're doing in those moments is being present, and you're noticing when a thought comes. And when a thought comes, you're just going to gently set it down, right? And then you're going to come back to your breath. You're going to be here now. That is all you need to do. Don't use that time to think, because we're going to talk about that in just a second. So number one was to tell yourself you're a visionary. Number two is to have a meditation or mindfulness practice to give you more breathing space. And then number three is to actually carve out time to think about these things, to put the issue at hand in front of you. And maybe you're using a pad and a pen or an iPad or a computer, right? Maybe you're using one of those things, or maybe nothing at all, because you're just going to think things through. But I think making the time to actually do this is critical, because I think a lot of times when we're thinking about those visionaries, we're just assuming that, they're just suddenly having a vision of how things should be or could be. And even when that happens, when they have a flash of insight, that insight is usually born of a lot of time thinking about the world or thinking about a problem, looking at it from multiple angles. There's been work that was done before that flash of insight. So I think the third and most important thing we can do is to spend time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Spend time to tackle these things, right? Okay. All right. That's it for today. This is an exciting topic. We'll be talking about it more in the future. Please subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube. And visit the website at theKathleenSessions.com. And like I said, if you're new to meditation, you're like, I don't know how to start, come to theKathleenSessions.com. It's all about the meditation component. And I really teach in a way that's very practical and accessible. So just a reminder, we're going to close with the reminder that you are capable of vision, that you are capable of being a visionary, and that this really beautiful moment, this is your finest hour. Thanks, everyone. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.